x squared. So we just finished this whole unit on this, folks. When you're multiplying letters, you add the exponents. So 1 plus 1 equals x squared. Add your exponents. Let's go fill it out. Don't just look at it. I know it's a piece of work. It's like a beautiful piece of artwork, but please copy it down. There's no copyright on this. When you're adding, when we use algebra tiles, we have rectangles for x's. How many rectangles do you have? How many x's do you have? 2. So what we're doing is we're adding our coefficients.
Please excuse the interruption, and this is the final one today. Counselors
Don't
are
believe
now
you.
able to accept.
So what if we have an x plus an x squared? This is like an apple plus an orange. What do you have? An apple plus an orange. No, you don't have an orange apple or apple orange. Yeah, be quiet. Let's go. So x plus x squared. So the idea is you need like terms to add or subtract. This was an example of like terms. This is an example of unlike terms. So like terms mean the same letter or same letters, and exponents. So here if we have x cubed plus x squared, that equals unlike terms. X cubed plus x squared. If we have x squared y plus x squared, even though they're in different order, they're actually like terms. So we'd have 2x squared y. So watch the letters and the exponents. Okay. Let's practice this a little bit. Please do 1, 2, and 3. Combine them if you can. Multiply them if you can. Please complete one for girls. It is, but not for me. I just don't have pink. Okay, so here, like terms, 5x. Number 2, you're not adding, you're multiplying. So it's a 4 times a 1 to give you a 4. You're not adding the coefficients, you're multiplying. X times x gives you x squared. So their final answer is 4x squared. Notice the difference between 1 and 2. Question 1, you're adding to get 5. Question 2, you're multiplying to get 4. Okay. Question 1, the letter and the exponents are the same. X exponent 1. Question number 2, when you're multiplying, the letters change to x squared. Okay, so there's a big difference between 1 and 2. So question 3, what is it now? You have to rewrite it to show me that they do not combine. Otherwise, I think you didn't answer the question. Okay. All right, 4, 5, and 6 are talking about multiplying. So you multiply coefficients. 9 times 3. So I should match that up better. 9 times 3 and x times x squared. Okay. What do you get? 27 x cubed. Okay, apply that part to 5 and 6 now. Go. Apply it to 5 and 6. Okay, so here we're going to go 2 times 4 is 8. And then 8 times 3 is 24. And what do our x change to? Okay. Multiply them, so add the exponents. 1 plus 2 plus 1. x4. Okay. Okay, what about 6? A little bit different, isn't it? 2 times 4? Well, good. Times pi doesn't change, so don't change it. Times pi. And then x times x? X squared. Okay. Don't say 2x first. Always say it after. Okay. Any questions? Okay, question 7. Okay, add them up. 2x squared plus 5x squared. Nice shot. 7x squared plus 7x. Okay. You only ate half the apple, man. Yeah, you did. Holy cow. That's ridiculous. Your parents let you get away with that? I tell ya. I don't let my kids get away with that. That's embarrassing. Half apple eater. I'm going to put a sign on your back. Half apple eater. Okay. Number 8. Add them up. Are they like terms? Are they not? I don't know. What do you think? Yeah. We have pi x, pi x. They're like. So what does that equal? Well, 3 and 6. How many do you have? 9. 9 pi x. Yes.
Pi come from the letter?
Yes, it is. It's a Greek letter. It's treated exactly like it's a letter. Sorry?
You can have a pi on one of them.
So if you had like 3x plus 6 pi x, those are unlike terms. So it's 3x plus 6 pi x. Can't combine them. You can multiply them if it was a multiplication, but it's not. Okay? No, only if you had 3 pi x squared plus 6 pi x squared. Then you could combine them to get 9 pi x squared. When you're adding, these will not change. That's right. That's just like this example. You can't combine them because they're different. So it's 7 pi x squared plus 4 pi x squared. 4 pi x. They're different terms. You need to know the difference between like and unlike terms.
Wouldn't you go 2 pi x? Like 2 times? For number 8?
Number 8. No, that would be if you're multiplying them. You're thinking like x pi x squared?
No, like 2 times pi x.
Where's the multiplication? I don't see it.
Because there's 2 of them.
No, there's 3 here and 6 there. Right? The number in front tells you how many there are. Okay? I know you see 2 of them, but there's 3 of the term and there's 6 of the term. Okay? All right. Solving equations. So, solving equations, what do you have to do first here? Add them up. 10x equals 50. Okay? Then what does x equal? This is 10 times x. 10x is 10 times x. So how do you get rid of multiply? Yeah, you got to do the opposite, which is divide by 10. And you have to keep it equal. Right? That's how we finish grade 9. Divide by 10. And so we get 5 on the other side. 50 divided by 10. Okay. All right, over here, same idea. Combine like terms first if you can. So you get 10x squared equals 40. Now we want to isolate x squared. So how do we get rid of the 10 again? Divide by 10 and do that to both sides to keep it equal. X squared equals 4. Now how do you get rid of x squared, folks? This is new. Square root. Do that both sides. So x equals square root 4, x equals 2. This is something that's a little bit new. It's a very important one. Okay, square root both sides. Now most of you are just going to write that. I'm happy with that. Right? If you make that connection, that's fine. Okay. All right. I want you right now to practice. Let's try this next one over here. How many pi r squareds are there? 10. And that equals 250. So how do we get r squared by itself? No. How do we get r squared by itself? There's 2 things we have to get rid of. Divided by 10 pi. Do that to the other side. So r squared equals 250 divided by 10 pi. So then r equals what? Square root 250 divided by 10 pi. Now don't touch your calculator yet. This is actually the square root of an answer divided by an answer. Okay? So on your calculator, you want to go 250 divided by bracket 10 pi bracket. Sorry, square root 250 divided by 10 pi bracket, then press equals. Everyone needs to try this on your calculator because it's easy to screw this up. Okay, so on my calculator, 250. So I'm not going to do the square root until after because my square root never appears. So divide by bracket 10 times pi bracket equals, now I square root, and equals 2.2. Now you have to be careful. You don't want your calculator to do this. Square root 250 divided by 10 times pi. Or square root 250 divided by 10 times pi. Okay, you don't want that. So everyone try this on their calculator right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your calculator's doing that's wrong?
It's like the square root of 250 and then
I know.
divided by
Try this on your calculator. 250 divided by bracket 10 pi times pi, and then go square root answer.
like 2 point something.
Hello.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah, it should be a waking. Yeah, it's Jeevan. It's weird. It's because the thing they use eSports desk is listed like that.
Yeah.
So that's why he does it. Okay, bye. 2.82. Any, so calculator issues. Who has them? Come up, Jordan. Come on up real quick. Do you know where your ANS button is? Right there, green writing. Use alpha. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 250 divided by bracket 10 times pi. Where's your pi button? Pi bracket equals. Okay. Square root. The answer equals 2.82. Who's next? Okay, do you know where your answer button is? Oh, you don't have one. Oh crap, this one's a little harder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay, where's your square root button? Okay, yours is easy. Just do it like I did it. Okay, 250 divided by 10 divided by pi. Where's pi? Good.
Second function.
The second function, pi, equals, good, now square root, done. Okay, now,
You divide it by pi?
yeah, the reason why, okay, so 250 divided by 10 brackets right there, 10 times pi, where's pi?
It's race. Yeah.
Pi bracket equals, and then square root answer.
I don't know how to spell it.
Square root's right here.
Oh,
And then you press the answer button. Right here.
okay.
Okay, one thing's important to know. Okay, up here, guys. Why are you guys talking? Okay, this is the same as 250 divided by 10 and divided by pi. You have to have 250 divided by both of them. Okay, so some calculators will like that a lot. So you could do that as well. Okay, pardon me? Because it's do you see 250 divided by 10 times pi? Right? If you don't use brackets, this is what you just did. So that's why you have to use brackets so that the bottom becomes an answer. Okay? Any questions? All right. Yep.
Why do we square root it?
Why?
Yes.
Well, here it's r squared, so we have to square root both sides to get r. Okay, good question. Any other questions? Okay. All right, have your calculators ready because we got some more that are a little more challenging, okay? Next one, let's go back to the beginning here. Okay, 3x plus 2 equals 8. So we want to isolate this to get it by itself. What do we have to do first then? Subtract 2. So 3x equals 6. Now that it's by itself, we divide. What are you going to do in the last step? Division usually, okay, or square rooting. So add, subtract is the first thing you're going to do. So x equals 2. Okay. Now we might over here have it a little bit different order. This is a plus 30. Always look in front. That's why we're going minus 30. This has nothing, this plus in front of the 5, that's just talking about the 5. It's not talking about the 30 at all. Okay, so don't look behind because you don't want to look at anyone's behind. Look in front, okay, so you can see what the person or the number looks like. So this would be minus 30 as well. So 5x equals 30. Then what do? Then you divide. Okay, so don't divide so early, folks. X equals 6. So this next one looks hard, but it's just like the first two that we did. We have to get the x by itself. What do we have to get rid of? 36 pi. How are we going to get rid of plus 36 pi? Yeah, do the opposite of add. So minus 36 pi. Okay, do that to both sides. So you can get 6 pi x equals 400 minus 36 pi. Now, if you want to get a decimal for that, you can. I'm not going to right now. Okay. So then I want to get rid of get x by itself. So I want to get rid of 6 pi. How do I do that? Divide both sides by 6 pi. Notice that super long division line. That's important. So most of you would go to a decimal by pressing equals, then divide by bracket 6 pi. So 400 minus 36 pi equals, and then divide bracket by 6 pi. You have to get your calculator to do this division. So that multiplication first. Okay. Now or on your calculator, 400 minus 36 pi equals, then divide by 6, divide by pi. If you're not going to use brackets, make sure you're dividing by both 6 and pi. Your choice, try it on your calculator. Can't be a negative number. There's no measurements that are negatives. I've never seen a ruler where it's minus 36 or something like that, okay? $15.22. Hands up if you got 15.22 because that's the answer. Okay. Any calculator issues? Okay, show me. Let's see. Calculator. No, sit down. Sit down. Show it to me. Can I see your calculator? See what kind it is? I can't. Oh, now I can see it. Thanks. Okay, so type in 400 minus 36 pi equals. Good. Don't press anything. Now divide, bracket, 6 times pi, bracket, equals. So it's a reading issue. You can't read what I wrote. Okay. Yeah.
How did you do the division when it's multiplying the pi? Multiplying the pi.
Well, I use brackets right here. Or I understand that I need to divide the top number by what? 6, and divide the top number by? That's why I have to do it properly, okay? Otherwise, what you're doing right now, I said this last time, it's 400 minus 36 pi. You don't want to divide by 6 and then times pi because these two things are not the same. But then you're going 6 pi divided by the other stuff. Right now on your calculator, if you know how to really work it, you could go 6 times pi equals. Then you would go 400 minus 36 pi equals. No, you couldn't. You couldn't do it. I don't think so. Unless you put brackets around, unless you did this in FG, put brackets around there, and then divide by, and then press your A and S button. You could do that in 2 steps like that. Okay. But you got to use brackets, otherwise you'd only divide the 36 pi, and that'd be a completely different answer. Okay, so be careful with that. And that's only for experts. Okay, folks? All right, let's practice some more. Turn the sheet over. Now, when you're doing your homework and doing these questions, you want both of these handy. All your examples are going to be based on what we're doing today. We're not reinventing the wheel. So, step 1, who can read it? Haley Spence.
The surface area of a sphere is 1,520.53 meters.
Stop. Sorry, that's example 1. Just read step 1, please.
Oh,
Yep. Thank you. Step 2, Michaela Porter. Sorry, Michaela Porter. I'm looking at all three of you at the same time. Go ahead.
Okay, I can't really read it loud.
Oh, okay. Michaela Pirantano.
Substitute known values for their letters.
Perfect. Number 3, Jared Jensen. Good. So the first 2 are easy, right? Like that's barf on your page. This one, though, that's where you're going to show work so I can see what you're doing, all right? So let's start. Example number 1, read it, underline the important stuff. Go. So I should see this underlined, this, and maybe sphere, okay? So blue booklet should be out. Have a look at your blue booklet and tell me what surface area formula should you use for the sphere. Let's have a look. Who's got it? Ooh, Tenji, what's the formula? Oh, wait a second. I thought it was 4 pi r squared.
It's both.
Oh, well, why did she choose pi d squared? Yeah, good. I'm glad you can read, okay, because it says diameter. All right. So what's step 2 now? Substitute. So 1520.53 equals pi times d squared. Oh, now we have to find the diameter and work backwards. We're on step 3. So how do we get d by itself? Or d squared, rather? Divide by pi. 1520.53 divided by pi. And how do we get d from d squared? By square rooting. So 1520.53 divided by pi equals d. Now stop. Don't touch your calculator yet. Make sure you press the equals button. Okay. And what I would do is go square root answer. You don't want to do this. Square root 1520.53 divided by pi. Okay, you don't want to do that. So do your division, press equals, then square root the answer. Okay, so on my calculator, if you have one like me, 1520.53 divided by pi equals, and I just hit the square root button because it's an old school calculator. So what's the diameter? I mean, look at it. 2.99999. Oh, round anywhere. What's it going to be? 22. Okay, so diameter equals 22 meters. You can round anywhere. That's why it doesn't say to round. It's 21.999999. Round anywhere, right? It's going to go to 22. Okay, how many people are having calculator issues? Anyone? Okay, type in 1520.53. Divide by pi. Equals. Good. Press square root. A and S button. Did you get the answer? Okay. Any questions? All right, read the next one. Go. Underline the important stuff. You should have ball, surface area, radius. So number 1 is write the formula. Who's got the formula? A ball. Justin, what do you think?
4 pi r squared.
Well done. Why did you choose that and not the other one? Yeah, it's talking about radius. So choose a good formula. Most times you can't choose, but this time you can. So step 2, substitute. 50.265 equals 4 times pi times r squared. Think you guys can do this yourself? No? Well, what do you have to get rid of to get r squared by itself? 4 pi. You've seen this before. This was on the back side of the sheet. So 50.265 divided by 4 pi. And then how do you go from r squared to r? Square root. Okay, so square root 50.265 divided by 4 pi. Now you can pick up your calculator. Make sure you use brackets to get an answer. Okay. So I'm going to go for on mine 50.265 divided by 4 divided by pi. That's what it says to do. Then I'll press equals. And then I'll go square root answer. Okay, so try that on your calculator. I wrote it down for you. There's other ways of doing it. And don't forget to square root. Oh, 1.9999. You could pick anywhere to round. What's it going to round to? 2. Okay, so this will be 2 centimeters. All right. So I don't say word around because I mean look at the number. It's very clear what the number should be. Okay, thumbs up, down in the middle. What do you guys think? All right, let's go down here now. Now we're going to go slightly different, slightly harder. Read it, underline the important stuff. Go. Did you get it, Haley? Okay, so you should have surface area underlined, the diameter, that's weird, slant height, cone. So, who has the formula picked out yet? Anyone? Surface area of a cone. Formula blue sheet. I almost said a bad word there. Kyla, what is it? Good, pi r s. Remember that's the letter S, okay? So, substitute in step 2. 1021.017 equals pi times r squared. Oh, but I have the diameter. Oh, you can't answer the question. Yeah, if the diameter is 26, the radius is 13. Okay, so this would be 13 squared. Plus pi times 13 times the letter S. Okay, remember it's a letter. So what I want to do, before I start doing other junk, I want to start making it easier. Instead of 13 squared, it's not 13 times 2, it's 13 times 13. That's 169. Now we don't write x2, we write 2x. So we write 169 pi. Plus, we don't write pi 13, we write 13 pi times the letter S. Now if you're stuck what to do, slant height. Let's look at boot camp. Oh, look here at the very last question. Doesn't that look so familiar? I can make it more obvious and rewrite it but I can't because that's just too obvious. So what are we going to do? We are going to get rid of what? 169 pi. How are we going to do that? Not yet. Minus it. So 1021.017. Oops, I'm going to have to start writing way over here. 1021.017 minus 169 pi. Now, some of you might want to do that right away and get a decimal. That's okay. I don't mind that. Okay. Others like to do it all at once and go 1021.017 minus 169 pi. Now I want S by itself. What should I do with the 13 pi? divide by 13 pi. Now in your calculator, you're probably going to need brackets for the bottom. Okay? Or divide by 13 and divide by pi. But make sure you get an answer on the top first by pressing equals. Okay? So it's going to be 1021.017 minus 169 pi equals divide by 13, divide by pi. Try that on your calculator. You got to be able to do it. So we get 24.9. Is that right? Let me just try that again. I don't think that's right. Minus 169 times pi equals 490 divided by 13 divided by pi. Yeah, there we go. 11.99999. So slant height, no matter where you round, is going to be 12 meters. Okay. 12.00, your calculator rounded for you then. That's an important thing to know. You be careful with your calculator, Jared. Okay? Because, sorry, Jordan, because you know we rounded somewhere then. Okay? All right. Next one. Have a read. Underline important stuff. Go. So, surface area and the measurements, that's the base. We want to know the slant height. So the formula from your formula sheet is what? And it's the only time I'd use it. 2bs, brown sugar, plus b squared. Okay. So 31.25 equals 2 times what? What's b? 2.5. Okay, they're tricky there. Times the letter S plus 2.5 squared. Okay. So let's simplify things first. 31.25 doesn't change. What's 2 times 2.5? 5S. Plus, I think it's 6.25, right? Okay. All right, what do you guys think we should do now? Get minus 6.25, okay? So minus 6.25. So we're going to get 25 equals 5s. Oh, that looks nice. What does s equal? 5. So we should have been all along doing a quick sentence like slant height is 5 meters. Okay, we should do a quick little sentence. I didn't. I cheated. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Any questions?